Welcome, everyone. We're kicking off a series all about what it means to be an alt-link here at Alter.
That's right. Alter, our marketing and advertising agency, aiming to be, as you know, recognized as the home of limitless creativity.
And today, we're jumping straight into one of our really foundational core values, E2E ownership.
hmm
The statement is, I own up to my mistakes and address them promptly to prevent further issues.
It sounds simple, but there's quite a bit packed into that, isn't there? It's really fundamental to how we work effectively.
Absolutely. It's more than just words on a page. It guides how we operate daily.
Exactly. And this series is all about getting into the skin of these values, making sure we're not just, ticking a box, but really living them. It helps our culture, collaboration, everything.
So E2E ownership, it's not just about getting your tasks done, it's also about what happens when, inevitably, something goes a bit wrong.
Right. It's about that moment of truth. So when we talk about owning up, what does that actually mean here at Alter Day to Day?
Okay, yeah, let's break that down, because it's definitely not just about putting your hand up and saying, my bad. There's more substance.
For sure. So
Okay.
first off, it's about acknowledging when something hasn't quite hit the mark. Straight up.
Without pointing fingers.
Crucially, yes. The focus is on the issue, not immediately on who. We're trying to foster a solution-focused approach, not a blame culture.
Okay, acknowledge without blame. What's next?
Second, it's taking responsibility for actually fixing the error, being part of the solution, not just flagging the problem and walking away.
Right, getting involved in the fix.
And the third part, which is super important, is learning from it.
Mm.
What actually happened? How can we stop this or something similar from happening again?
That learning piece feels really key. It's not just mopping up the mess, but figuring out why it happened.
Precisely. Because when we tackle mistakes promptly and honestly, those small slip-ups don't get a chance to become major problems.
And that must build trust within the teams, right?
Immensely. You can rely on your colleagues to be upfront. Plus, it keeps things moving. We don't get bogged down in defensiveness or blame games. We just fix it, learn, and keep going.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's make this really concrete. Can we talk through some examples across different teams here at Alter? Like, the design team?
Yeah, good idea. Okay, imagine a designer sends off final files, maybe to client success, and then realizes, oops, there's a small error in there.
Okay, what does E2E ownership look like then?
Well, someone practicing this wouldn't just cross their fingers and hope nobody notices.
Right.
They'd immediately fix that file, then proactively tell, say, the client success manager, hey, updated file here, please use this one, taking initiative.
Okay, immediate action. What about the copy team?
Let's say a copywriter finishes some website copy, submits it, but then rereads it and thinks, that specific phrase doesn't quite match the client's tone. Instead of just letting it go, they'd flag it themselves, tweak the copy, and maybe even quickly explain to the team why they made the change. It shows that deep care for the brand's voice.
Got it. And client success, they juggle so much. How does it apply there?
Okay, imagine a CS team member misses an internal deadline. It
Okay.
happens, but it might impact the client deliverable.
Yeah.
E2E ownership here isn't about making excuses. It's about acknowledging it internally, communicating clearly and honestly with the client about the slight delay and the new timing, and then working internally to figure out how to prevent that miss next time.
Transparency is key there. What about our performance team? Things happen fast in campaigns.
Super fast.
Mm-hmm.
So if the team spots an ad campaign underperforming and realizes, uh-oh, it was a targeting mistake,
Mm-hmm.
the E2E response is flag it immediately, pause that part of the campaign to stop wasting budget, and come back quickly with a revised strategy. No excuses, just solutions.
Makes sense. Course correction. How about the production team? Maybe video editing?
Sure, an editor sees a transition in a video, feels a bit, well, clunky. Doesn't quite flow.
Okay.
Ownership means not just leaving it, but taking responsibility for that moment, reworking it, polishing it so the final piece is better.
Right, that commitment to quality. In marketing and social, typos can happen so easily there.
They can. So if a post goes live with a typo, E2E ownership means, yes, fix it fast. But crucially, it also means asking, okay, how did that happen? And then maybe implementing something, like a final checklist step to prevent it next time.
Adding that preventative layer. What about teams where the output isn't always visual, like, say, accounts or HR?
Absolutely vital there, too. If there's a delay getting important info out, say a policy update or a financial report,
Huh?
ownership means acknowledging the delay, getting the info out clearly and quickly, and then looking at the internal process. Why the holdup? How can we streamline this for next time?
That-
Documenting the fix.
So it really applies across the board. We've got a good sense of what E2E ownership is. What about what it is not? Let's clarify that.
Yeah, good point. It is definitely not about waiting for your manager or someone else to spot the mistake and tell you about it.
Okay, so proactivity is key.
Huge. And it is absolutely not about finding someone else to pin it on. That's wasted energy. The focus must be on the fix and the learning.
No blame game.
Zero blame game.
Yeah.
And then finally, it's certainly not about just ignoring a problem, burying your head in the sand, and hoping it resolves itself.
Because it rarely does, right?
Almost never. It usually just gets bigger.
So like you said before, we don't wait to be told. We act.
That's the spirit. And honestly, when everyone across Ulster operates like this, consistently, wow, the collective impact is huge.
How so?
We become a more agile team, a more reliable team. People trust each other more. We solve problems faster. And all of that builds a much, much stronger foundation for reaching that big vision. Limitless creativity.
So maybe the takeaway for everyone listening is next time something, slips through the cracks or doesn't go quite right, ask yourself that question. Okay, how can I take charge here? How can I solve this right now?
That's it exactly. It's
Yeah.
not about being perfect. Nobody is. Mistakes are inevitable, especially in creative work.
True.
E2E ownership is about how we respond. It's about embracing that responsibility, especially when it feels a bit tough or uncomfortable. That's when it counts most.
That's a powerful way to put it. This has been really clarifying on E2E ownership.
What a
Thanks.
pleasure.
Next time, we'll continue this deep dive, focusing on another of Alter's core values and how we can integrate it into our work.
Looking forward to it. And just remember, every single time one of us chooses to take that ownership, even on something small, it adds up. It really does fuel our collective journey towards being that home of limitless creativity.